Today we are ranking and looking at the most cringe and embarrassing rider behaviors and mistakes you could possibly make. Some of this stuff is just beginner stuff that everybody ends up doing, and some of it is rapscallion and scoundrel behavior that Logan, I just can't get behind.
Yeah, some of these on here are definitely sort of symptomatic of this new generation of riders, and I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah, some really weird stuff coming up in today's video. Let's rip the Band-Aid off and talk about one of the most common ones, dropping your bike in a parking lot. So for our graph today, we have it on a 1 to 10 in dumb factor and a 1 to 10 in cringe factor. And Logan, I think dropping your bike in a parking lot, we've all been there, we've all done it. I'm gonna rank it a 3 for dumb and 3 for cringe. It happens.
Pretty low stakes, yep, we've all been there. I've luckily never done it in a crowded parking lot, but that's mostly because I'm agoraphobic and afraid of crowds. But I've definitely done it in a less populated parking lot.
I feel like the worst thing that could happen is you just bought like a brand new shiny red Ducati. You're at Costco. It's Saturday morning. It is packed to the gills, and you decide to tap the front brake, you fold the front end, and drop your brand spanking new bike in front of everybody. There's a middle-aged Indian man hauling off a 45-inch TV, and he sees you just drop this bike, and he thinks, man, what a moron.
Yep, you gotta change towns, change your name, grow a mustache, you know.
Gotta like what this guy did.
essentially start from scratch. Maybe that's my past, who knows? We'll
That's true.
Uncover some Logan lore maybe in another video.
Yeah, all right, moving on to the next one. This next rider behavior is heinous, and I think that there's way better options than ever having to succumb yourself to this. It is, of course, the Rev Bomb. Logan, the Rev Bomb is gonna rank pretty high in the dumb and cringe, in my opinion.
Pretty high. I mean, like you said, nary a good reason to rev bomb your engine. It doesn't sound cool. There's better ways to attract attention in case you need to. And it's pretty much just a showboating thing. Hey, look at me, look how cool I am, look how cringe I am.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna rate it a 10 in dumb and a 9 in cringe. Gonna fall somewhere way up there. Rev bombs, we don't need them anymore. You have the horn. Simply use your horn. Rev bombing is giving motorcyclists a bad name. It's giving you a bad name. It's making everybody causing a ruckus, a racket, endangering people's hearing. I don't like it, Logan.
It's ruining my brunch, you know? I'm just sitting out there enjoying, taking in an espresso, enjoying my morning, trying to maybe reading the newspaper, and then
He's also a time traveler, folks.
Picking up my freshly polished monocle from the repair store.
Checking your pocket watch when all of a sudden some flagrant asshole decides to rev bomb his inline 4 machine. It's always an inline 4. I never hear a V-twin or a triple. It's always always that signature sound of an inline 4 delimiter.
Yep, or you know, if it's a Harley Davidson, it's less of a rev bomb, more of like a rev like burble, you know, it doesn't really go that. Yeah.
You never really hear them off the limiter.
A donkey gasping for air.
Truly, truly. Moving on. Now, full disclosure, before we talk about this next one, we at length debated this one about where we should put it, how we should start it off, when we should talk about it. I think we should just rip the Band-Aid off and then clue you guys in. Wearing fuzzy helmet covers is absolutely a 10 out of 10. Dumb and cringe. Double whammy, Logan. It is unconscionable to me.
And there's really no debate to be had. I don't see, outside of wanting to look like a silly goose, I see no real reason that anyone should ever be wearing a fuzzy helmet on their motorcycle.
Okay, I just thought of one as a dad that I could maybe make the case. You wear it one time to let your kids have a giggle, have a laugh, be a silly goose, you know, maybe you surprise them, you know, like, oh, look, daddy's wearing a silly, you know, thing or whatever. But, you know, if you're like a 23-year-old with no children and you like consistently wear one of these and you're like a serial TikTok poster,
Cringe.
Reevaluate. It just, you know, it makes me want to throw up. I don't know what else to tell you.
Because they're always old and dirty. Think about just how dirty a regular motorcycle helmet gets. You ride it 3 times, it's covered in bugs and all that stuff. What, are you throwing your Elmo fuzzy helmet cover like in the dishwasher? Like, it's disgusting.
Yeah, there's really no redeeming quality to it. The only one we saw online that we could, because we did a little bit of research, you know, you guys think we just sit down and just whip these out. We did a little bit of research. One user said that they noticed that they are seen much more often nowadays when they wear their fuzzy helmet cover on their helmet, and so that's why they continue to wear it. Logan, I'll state it publicly right here. Go ahead and hit me with the car. Go ahead and smash into me, turn left into me. I would not want to have that be a safety feature if I have to wear one of those to be seen.
Yep, it's you die a hero or to live long enough to be a fuzzy helmet cover wearer.
Horrible. Moving on. Next up is a pretty specific type of behavior, but it is one I've seen very often, usually on Reddit, sometimes even on our own Discord server. It's getting offended when someone doesn't wave back at you. Logan, I think we've all seen this post.
Oh yeah.
It's someone with a Ninja 400, an SV650, they just started riding and they post up saying, this guy didn't wave back at me. Are all people riding Harleys just assholes, or is it just me? I don't know, it strikes me as a bit questionable behavior.
Yeah, it always reads like, you know, an outdated 90s stand-up bit. You know, what's the deal with airline food? It's like, what's the deal with, or it'll be someone on a cruiser and it'll be like, what's the deal with all these crotch rocket riders? They don't wave back to me. And it's just like, brother, just ride the damn bike.
Just ride the bike.
Who cares?
Yeah,
you know?
So we're gonna rate this one. It's pretty high up on the cringe scale, a 9. But in terms of dumb, you know, it's relatively low stakes. It's just somebody being a bit silly on the internet, just being like, oh, why don't people accept me? And it's like, just ride your bike. You know, I feel bad because, I mean, I commute by bike every week, and sometimes I just simply don't see the guy until he's gone past me. And he's probably like, Aprilia Touareg riders are just dickheads, you know? Some guy in his flashy Arai and his Aprilia adventure bike thinks he's so cool. It's like, brother, I just didn't see you. I was thinking about what I was gonna eat for lunch. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, and I just make an active decision like not to wave, but that's because I am a dickhead.
True, he is. Doesn't even wave at me. The next cringe behavior is one that is pretty specific to the female variety, but Logan, there are some male OnlyFans creators out there. It is, of course, the OnlyFans biker girl phenomenon. We think this is pretty cringe. You know, we understand that it's part of the new economy, right? Everybody's got to go out there and make a bit of a living, and you know what? If you got the assets, I guess you have to flaunt them. But we think it's peak dumb because you're not wearing any gear and you just have your 360 camera and there's no thought or effort put into the content. So we're gonna rate this one an 8 for cringe, but 10 for dumb. Somehow not cover the Rev Bomb. You guys know Rev Bomb's behind there. We already talked about it. So only biker girls, they're 8 cringe, 10 dumb. I'd say peak dumb, Logan.
Yeah. I mean, and what more can I really say? It's like the content exists solely as like a marketing tool, you know, a marketing funnel. Get these lonely squids down to their link tree and clicking them links. And for me, I'm not falling for it. I'm not fooled. I know you don't love me. I know you aren't gonna send me custom pics if I donate $5, $10, $15. I've never visited these sites. I just hear tell that's how it operates.
Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Like you pay money and then they like send you nice messages. Or if you pay even more money, then they send you pictures, which you can get similar pictures completely for free online. I will also tell you guys, as another behind the scenes, I made the mistakes of typing into Google OnlyFans biker to try to get a sense of what these people are. Make sure you got safe search on, because literally 3 scrolls down and I saw 2 fellas having a lot of fun that I did not want to see. And then I showed Logan, and now we have an HR complaint.
That's just like an average Harley meetup.
We almost made it to the thumbnail of this video. You know, we'll drop it on Discord because we obviously can't do anything with that on YouTube. They were just making sweet, tender love, Logan. What are you gonna do? Next up is a very common one. It's stalling your motorcycle. Everybody's done this. I still do this because I get to ride so many different bikes. Clutch points are different, all that sort of stuff. And this one is, I think, more in the minds of the rider of being embarrassing or cringe. To be honest, if you catch it quick enough, Logan, I don't even think anybody would even notice.
No, definitely not. I mean, especially a non-rider, you know. I've myself stalled relatively recently. I maybe inadvisedly, my lawyer tells me to say, passed a bunch of cars at a stop and then stalled when the light turned green.
That's actually really funny.
And I
people are like, look at this idiot.
Contemplated my entire life, the remaining ride to work. But yeah, it happens to everyone. And there's worse places that it can happen. I think I did it at the worst place it could possibly happen.
True. We're rating this one a 3 for cringe and a 3 for dumb. Happens to the best of us. It is what it is. In the pantheon of, like, you know, wearing fuzzy helmet covers or complaining about not waving back, brother, you're gonna stall the bike. It is what it is.
Inconsequential.
Yep, moving on. Next up is a phenomenon that is typically reserved for the cruisers among us, and that is the Harley-Davidson rider formation rules. Logan, this is a really weird one. Can you explain this a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and I have a very cursory knowledge of these formation rules. It sounds like you were doing some research on Harley-Davidson formation rules when you found out that picture of those two fellas.
Yeah, the formation is top and bottom.
That's a new
formation.
But for my cursory understanding of it is I guess there's specific rules about lane positioning and passing, who you can't pass. I always hear of it when someone posts a video, some GoPro footage of them passing some Harley-Davidsons because they're going, slow as snails. And then they come to a light and the Harley riders freak out. Don't you know the rules to formation, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I understand it to be. Very silly to me.
If anyone out there is riding with their formation rules, I don't know your rules. If you're in the left-hand lane doing 60, I'm gonna pass you on the right and you can't get mad at me for doing so. So we're gonna rate this one a 10 for dumb because you're just making up your own rules of the road that nobody else knows. And in terms of cringe, it's definitely up there. I think a 7 is pretty fair. So we're just gonna cover up the only girl because she definitely needs a little bit of cover going on top of there. So man-on-man love, top-bottom formation for the Harley-Davidson rider. Peak dumb, not as cringe. Moving on.
All right, we're moving on to my side of the whiteboard. We've got target fixation crash. So obviously crashes happen more often than we'd like. Sometimes it involves another vehicle. That's obviously less to the fault of the motorcyclist more often than not. But target fixation crash, avoidable, preventable, be the change.
Yeah, so this is a rider that is just simply going down the road, and we've all seen these videos, and it makes me cringe whenever you see someone going around a corner and you're like, just turn, just do it, and they just go off the side of the canyon or the road or wherever they're on, and you're like, you could have just turned. And as an experienced rider, you're like, yeah, okay, like it makes sense, just like ride the front and just like, tighten up your radius. But, newer riders, Logan, they have trouble doing that, but this one's avoidable, folks. This one's avoidable. So what are we ranking it?
So yeah, we're gonna rate this one 5 on the cringe, 7 on the dumb.
Yeah, this is relatively cringe, kind of dumb. I think that it's very avoidable. It's like just take some rider training courses, literally just ride a little bit slower and then you won't have this happen. Look through the corner, but I think what makes it a little more cringe is like if you post about it online trying to get clout in the cope, that's a bit weird. Or like, you're like being like, oh, it was gravel in the road. It's like, brother, it wasn't. It was, you just suck. I don't know. Just learn to ride a little better. And that's okay. We all sucked at one point. We all did stupid crashes. So be the change you want to see.
Be the change you want to see. So up next, we got a spicy one. Like I said at the top of the video, some of these are symptomatic of a new crop of riders. They're maybe a little reckless. Their priorities are a little bit different. Maybe terminally online, one could say. So we've got top speed runs and lane splitting posted on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Yes, you guys have seen these videos. They're popping up everywhere. Guys doing $130, $140, $150, splitting between cars. I think a layer on top of that are the guys that say like, what if I didn't come back from this ride tonight, and they're just like riding really fast at night. Logan, we have strong opinions about this one, right?
Yeah, the emo-coated squid is sort of a new phenomenon. I don't know if that's kind of like...
it's a recession indicator.
I was gonna say a cry for help, but kind of pandering to the I think the bike talk, book talk, girly phenomenon. But so on our scale, definitely ranks pretty high in the cringe. I'm gonna say 9 for cringe. What are you thinking for dumb? I think about the consequences.
Yeah.
Jail, death.
This is pretty crazy, right?
Online embarrassment.
Yeah, you're riding really fast and posting it, trying to get clout, and the consequence could be you either die or you go to jail. Logan, I think I might have to take this one over because it's over here on my side. We're gonna rank it a 9 for cringe and an 11 for dumb. This is beyond our scale of dumb. Literally never do this. This is just like a really dumb thing to do. Or if you're gonna do it, be like, crash test goat and like, wear like a ski mask and like use an offloaded VPN or what. I don't know how that guy does it, but try to do it in a way that was like borderline criminal activity, like gang related or whatever. But this is just like probably the dumbest thing you can do on a motorcycle in 2025.
And I think a tip for if you are a parent now, especially parents of a male.
Oh, I'm not worried. Cool.
Oh, or, women can ride motorcycles too. But I'm gonna say, to prevent this type of behavior 20 years from now, hug your children.
Yeah, just give them a hug.
So picture this. You buy a $10, $15, $20,000 motorcycle. You don't got much left in the bank account for the aftermarket parts, but you need the aftermarket parts, hence the Temu Parts.
Installing cheap Chinese parts.
Everybody's done it.
I mean, sometimes, Logan, it makes sense. Something simple, not too important. Go ahead, buy a cheap Chinese part. Clutch basket, levers, New engine even? Maybe don't go Temu, maybe don't go Chinese, right?
I think if it's hard, don't go Temu. If it's soft, you can kind of go, like I have a Chinese tail bag because that's not like a load bearing.
I thought we were making Harley jokes again, but I guess not.
Don't get me started. Yeah, you know, something soft. Yes, I was saying. If it's a load-bearing part,
yes,
don't get it on Temu. But if it's a tail bag, I can only think of a tail bag. Anything else is don't do it.
I'm getting hard and soft just thinking about it. So Logan, where are we gonna rank it?
So this is 6 for cringe, mildly cringe, 7 for dumb, just because it's dumb. You know, especially if it's impeding the functionality of your motorcycle, right? Like a cheap part that make you a worse rider or harder to ride, and be better off just keeping it stock in the first place. So 6 and 7.
Cool, moving on.
So then up next we've got Duckfeet. This came from the mind of Yam. Explain Duckfeet a little, because I was like, I don't really know what is that. A
I think
move?
He thought it was like waddling or something like that. But no, to me, the Duckfeet is a rider who doesn't ride on the balls of their feet or the arch of their foot. They have their little heels on the pegs and their little feet out. It represents to me that you don't understand the fundamentals of like just how to control a bike. You wouldn't dance on your heels, would you? You don't walk on your heels, walk on the balls of your feet, baby. That's where all the control comes from. So whenever I see a rider just like going down the road like that, it looks pretty silly to me. Is something you don't notice as much?
I mean, once you said that, I pictured it very vividly, but I didn't think Duckfeet. But I guess I'm not cyberbullying noobs often enough. Maybe if that's
the whole brand of the channel. No,
maybe it'd be in my vernacular if I was more used to pointing it out and saying, "Hey, cut out the Duckfeet." But
yeah, that's true. You know, in the pantheon of offenses you could make on a motorcycle, not that bad. I was thinking, since I came up with it, sort of like a 6 for dumb and a 4 for cringe. It's like, maybe you don't know what you don't know. Maybe you just gotta, kind of get a little bit better in terms of your riding characteristics and riding abilities. It can easily be adjusted, literally just move your feet up, so not that bad.
I don't know about you, but I love going viral online. And if you're gonna go viral online, the easiest way to do it is baiting people into road rage incidents. So that's our next dumb and cringe
road rage
activity.
Baiting. If you guys aren't familiar with this is the video of like, there's a guy just riding down the road and then someone merges in front of him and they go, "You almost killed me. Oh, this guy freaking got in front of me, man." Or all he had to do is just brake a little bit and he wouldn't have gone close to the car. He then pulls up next to the guy, slaps his mirror, tells him to roll down his window. He's got the GoPro rolling. This is really stupid. Why are you antagonizing people in public? I mean, nobody almost killed you. It's just, what are we doing?
Yeah, there's no real excuse for it. I feel like in a vast majority of instances with like motorcycle road rage, it might not be the rider's fault, but maybe they didn't take the right steps to prevent it, right? Of being in the right lane position, staying out of people's blind spots, maybe riding too quickly for a certain road. Like, you can't blame a driver for going 60 in a 55 when it's 55 mile per hour speed limit. Like, if you're gonna speed and want to speed, that's on you to kind of make the space to do it.
Totally. Yeah, or like you're going 75 in a 40 and some guy turns in front of you. He's like, yeah, he didn't think that you would come up that fast, right? Like, sure. I don't want to blame the rider, but like a lot of these videos, I'm like, this guy's riding like a moron. Like this was going to happen, So yeah, our advice, be zen, be chill. Unfortunately, this one, we're gonna rate a 10 for cringe and a 10 for dumb.
10 for 10.
This is that corner of the board's getting pretty loaded over here. But yeah, guys, if you're making like road rage baiting content, what are you doing? Grow up. I don't know. Pretty cringe, pretty dumb.
So this one might need a little bit of explanation. Even in pre-production, you were kind of maybe not 100% on my side with it. But I think a common mistake for newer riders specifically is like overzealous brand simping. Obviously you love your first bike, you have a strong attachment to it. It introduces you to so many things in motorcycling. But to say you ride a Ninja 400 and someone's like, "Oh, what are you gonna get next? I think you'd like an MT-07." And you freak out and say, "Oh my God, I would never ride a naked bike. They're so ugly. They look like insects, blah, blah." And it's like, brother, you've ridden one motorcycle.
Yeah, it's like, what are we talking about?
Like, there's a lot of things to love about a bunch of different types of bikes. And yeah, you can have your opinions and your predilections and your specific tastes, but to just like delete 1,000 options for potential next bikes because they don't match your like very small experience is very, very silly to me. So that goes down to brand stuff, whether it's like, I only ride Kawasaki's, I only ride Suzuki's, or types of motorcycles being like, I never touch a dual sport,
Yeah, I think that there's a very specific type of guy who just like is a ride or die brand simp and is usually had like just started riding, you know? It's like, keep your mind open. You know, you don't know what you don't know. This is why a lot of times I recommend people buy multi-purpose motorcycles when they start out, because it's like, hey, if you like carving up corners, you can keep doing that. If you want to ride off-road, you can keep doing that a little bit, you know? Keep your mind open. Don't segment yourself as like, I'm a Kawasaki guy. It's like, you're missing out on a whole lot of good stuff out there. So what did we rate this one, Logan? A 7 and an 8, it seems?
7 and an 8.
So it's pretty cringe, but also pretty dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb because there are consequences. You're thinking of all the cool bikes you're gonna miss out. All right, so last up, we got number 14 out of the 10 most cringe mistakes riders can make. And that's not just any key tags, cringe key tags, corny,
You know what they are. You know what they are. The ones that say, not today, death, or Kawasaki, or my other ride is a man. I mean, I like that one, honestly. That was pretty funny. I would write that one.
Yeah, turn right for bad decisions.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of those out there. But honestly, you'd think that, you know, we would say, oh, this is peak cringe, peak stupid. Honestly, it's in the pantheon of, I mean, we're talking about fuzzy helmet people and people posting crimes online. This is pretty tame. What do we rank this?
Yeah, it's pretty harmless. 8 for cringe, 6 for dumb.
Yeah. Like, it's pretty cringe, but also, like, it's just your key tag. So God forbid someone sees it, but then they'd be like, wow, this guy's kind of lame. But if it's just for you, just your little key tag, whatever, you know?
Imagine, like, you make your way into a new riding group, and you're like, someone's like, hey, man, can I, you know, you reach the point in your relationship where you can ride each other's bikes. And you hand someone the keys, and it says, like, Kawasaki. We have I'm not gonna hang out with that person again.
Logan coined a term that I really enjoyed. It's trailer park behavior.
Park behavior.
And I tend to agree. Yeah, it's just like kind of a little trashy, you know? Like, you don't really need to be doing that.
Definitely
Especially if you're like a 35-year-old man. It breaks my brain when I see like guys in like their 40s behaving like this.
CTE, they played high school football.
That's a good point.
And never aged past 17.
They literally can't conceive. You know, you talk about adolescence permeating through adulthood. There you go. Well, boys, that's some of the cringe behavior. Logan, you know, thinking of the radical things here, can we come up with anything on the fly that would be peak dumb but zero cringe, or peak cringe and zero dumb? That's kind of hard.
I feel like the ancient Greeks like pondered this, right? Like
Plato sat in his cave and he said, what is peak cringe but zero dumb?
Then we got to add a Riz angle and an aura farming.
Yeah, you guys let us know in the comments what you think is zero cringe but peak dumb, or peak dumb and zero cringe. We also thought it would be fun, maybe in the future, we extend this graph and we go negative cringe, which would be like sort of sigma or big brain, and then negative dumb, which is of course intelligent. We could maybe do those moves as well. You guys let us know in the comments if you want to see that, or what your thoughts behind that would be. Logan, any final words?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, boys. Catch you in the next one. See you later.